Nothing is unacceptable. Time heals all wounds. Knowing when to let go and embracing yourself matters most. I was with Lu Xingzhu for 6 years. In the 10th grade, he was playing basketball when the ball rolled to my feet. He ran over to pick it up, looked up, and smiled at me. I remembered that smile for 6 years. In the 11th grade, we were divided into tracks. He studied science, I studied liberal arts. Every day he waited for me outside my classroom, leaning against the corridor railing with his bag slung over one shoulder. As soon as I stepped out, he would naturally take my bag and say, "Let's go." This went on for an entire year. In the winter of the 12th grade, he rode me home on his bike. The wind was strong on the back seat, so he told me to put my hands in his coat pocket. It was warm inside. I asked which university he wanted to attend. He said University A. I knew my grades fell far short. It was a top-tier 985 university. To be in the same city as him, I got up at 5 every morning to practice problems and stayed up until midnight. My mother thought I'd suddenly become motivated. I just wanted to be close to him. On the day the admission letters arrived, he rode to my apartment building. Song Kiao, I made it. Me too. He froze for a second, then broke into a bright smile, even brighter than the one on the basketball court. He lifted me up and spun me around, calling me silly. I laughed and called him silly right back. On the first day at University A, we registered together. He carried my luggage, made my bed, and wiped down my cabinet. My roommate asked, "Is he your boyfriend?" I nodded before he could speak. He glanced at me, the corner of his mouth curving up. Looking back on that look late at night, I was certain he really liked me back then. Freshman year was perfect. He waited for me downstairs every morning, and we ate at the cafeteria together. He ate buns while I had porridge. He would pick out the pickles from my bowl, saying I didn't like salty food. I never told him that Hed noticed on his own. In the evenings, he saved me a window seat in the library. Outside, a row of ginkgo trees turned golden in autumn. He said they were beautiful and took a photo as his phone wallpaper. On New Year's Eve, the campus set off fireworks. He held my hand and squeezed through the crowd to the front. At midnight, as fireworks exploded, he shouted in my ear, "Song Kiao, happy second year." I asked, "What second year?" "Our second year together. There will be a third, fourth, fifth." The fireworks were too loud, I couldn't hear the rest, but his eyes were shining. Back then, I was sure we would stay like this forever. Things started changing in sophomore year. He joined the student union's external relations department and met Zhang Wantang, the minister, a year above him. She was pretty, articulate, and great at securing sponsorships. The first time he mentioned her, his voice held an admiration I had never heard before. Gradually, Wantang came up more and more. The formal surname disappeared. By the time I realized something was wrong, it was too late. One day I went to find him at the student union. The door was slightly ajar, and I heard laughter inside. Yang Wantang teased him for not knowing how to make a PowerPoint. He spoke with a coquettish tone. I pushed the door open. They were sitting close together, her finger tapping the screen as he looked up at her, smiling exactly as he had on the basketball court. He stood up nervously when he saw me. Zhang Wantang turned around, smiled politely, and said I was good minus looking. But that politeness felt like she was appraising an object, making me uncomfortable. I asked if they were close. He just said colleagues without looking up from his phone. I didn't push further. From then on, his replies grew slower, from instant responses to hours of waiting. His excuse was always student union business. Once I waited for him to eat until 7. With no reply or answer, at 8 he texted in a meeting. I went to the cafeteria alone near closing time, eating cold dishes, my heart heavy. In the autumn of junior year, I accidentally saw a photo on his phone. He'd gone to take a shower and left his phone on the table. The screen lit up with a message from Zhang Wantang. "Thanks today." I stared for a few seconds and scrolled up. It was a photo from a KDV Zhang Wantang asleep on his shoulder. He was looking at her, smiling the same smile. The photo was taken at 2 a.m. The same night he told me he was busy at the student union. I put the phone back quietly and said nothing. I noticed more details. My note in his phone was my full name. Song Kiao. Hers was just Wantang, no surname. He said he was busy on weekends. I saw him watching a movie with John Wantang. During National Day, they both posted photos of the same milk tea shop near their high school. Her caption read, "My old place, brought by someone? On a rainy day, I waited for him to bring an umbrella." Only to see her post, "Nice to have someone bring an umbrella." For my birthday, he gave me a bracelet. John Wantang had picked it out, and they gave me identical ones. While studying for postgraduate exams, he would drop his pen and leave as soon as John Wantang called. He bought milk tea with full sugar, even though I only drank 30% sweetness. That was John Wantang's preference. He changed his profile photo from a side shot I took to a group picture with John Wantang. I'd planned to apply to the same university, but he secretly changed his choice to the city where John Wantang was admitted for a postgraduate study. On New Year's Eve of senior year, said he was at a student union dinner. I waited alone in the dorm until midnight. Then I saw John Wantang's post a group photo with Lu Xingzhu in the center, caption, "Happy 7th year." Comments assumed they were together. It was the 7th year I had been with Lu Xingzhu. Yet she was celebrating their 7th year. I took screenshots, not to confront him, but to remind myself of the truth. After graduation defense, he promised to pick me up. I waited until 11. He didn't answer 7 calls. The 8th was picked up by John Wantang. "Lu Xingzhu is drunk, here with me." I gave the address and took a taxi. He was lying on the sofa, muttering, "Wantang, don't go." John Wantang had a faint, triumphant smile. I knew she had one long ago. That night back in the dorm, I didn't cry. I sat at my computer and did 3 things: exported all 6 years of chat history, saved his conversations with John Wantang, and wrote a letter listing 147 things he had done for her in 7 years, and none for me that year. I left the letter and a USB drive on his desk and left without saying goodbye. On graduation day, he walked over with sunflowers, John Wantang's favorite flower. I loved Lishiness. After 7 years, he still didn't know. People cheered for us to kiss. John Wantang stood nearby with the same sunflowers. I calmly said, "Lu Xingzhu, let's break up." I listed everything publicly, took off the star necklace he'd given me in high school, and placed it on the flowers. 3 years high school, 4 years college, 7 years. I owe you nothing. I turned and left, never looking back. After the breakup, I moved to a southern coastal city and lived alone. I rented an apartment with a small balcony and planted lichens. The days I'd spent revolving around him were finally over. I learned to embrace myself. At first it was hard, meant with a small balcony, and seeing basketball courts or milk tea shops brought back memories. But slowly, I got used to it. I started a public account called 7th Year, writing our story to comfort others who waited hopelessly in love. When my lishness bloomed, I announced 7th year ends, 1st year begins. On New Year's Eve, Lu Xingzhu texted happy. I didn't reply. I just said to myself, "Song Kiao, happy 2nd year." Lu Xingzhu found the letter 3 months later. He stayed up all night reading our old chats, finally realizing what he had lost. He came to my city but only watched from afar. Too afraid to approach. He and John Wantang didn't last. She told him plainly he never loved her, he just lost me. Every New Year's Eve he sent happy. On the 3rd year, I replied, "No need." He asked if my flowers had bloomed. I didn't answer. He tried growing lishness but failed. His apartment had no sunlight. He finally understood some things, once lost, can never be nurtured back. In his own 7th year without me, he spent New Year's Eve alone, regretting the smile that started it all. One autumn, I passed a flower shop and bought a purple lishnitz. Now 7 pots bloomed on my balcony year after year. I replied to a follower who was heartbroken after a 4-year relationship. Don't trust to stop feeling sad. It's okay to grieve. Just keep walking. Slowly. One day, you'll see your own flowers blooming. The sea breeze blew, lifting the curtains. 7 pots of lishness swayed gently. 7 years later, the flowers I planted myself finally bloomed for me.